L Blankenship, and I'm making a little video here, kind of quick for you, hopefully, because I got chicken and dumplings, like, right, here to eat for breakfast, about this new comic book, Super Killer #1. Now, it was an indie comic. It came out on Indiegogo. There had been some tie-ups and some runarounds and all that, as it happens with a lot of indie creators when they're trying to get their first comic out, trying to iron it out, make the thing look good, be all fresh and everything. So I want to preface this or whatever by saying, man, my beard's going wild, by saying that, I do a number of reviews. Somebody told me privately the other day, that, man, you're such a good writer. I know. I mean, honestly, I've written a lot of songs and books and what have you. But you're so good at it. This wasn't veto. This is no involvement or anything to do with this, but said, you're so good at it. And I feel like you do these reviews on movies and what have you, and you're never critical on them, and you don't bash them, and you don't read them the riot act, but you talk so good and so outrageously nice and positive about them. And I think it's because you're afraid, and I'm not afraid, this isn't it, but I'm telling you what the dude said, that you're afraid that somebody might turn the knife and come around on you and try to criticize you, when that's just not going to happen, because your stuff is such high quality. Um, that that's misplaced. That stuff is, it's kind, it's a nice compliment that I'm that good or whatever. But that's not what it is at all. So, recently I reviewed like the Toxic Avenger movie, I reviewed the Red Sonja movie, all of that. And I didn't come down hard on any of that. I didn't come down hard on Thunderbolts. The worst thing that I said about any comic that I read, like Star Trek Red Shirts #1, which #2 is coming out literally tomorrow. September the 3rd, 2025 would be tomorrow as of when this video is being made. Um, but I said, that I said that one was mid, that Star Trek thing. When you get what you're expecting to get out of something, it's not really a letdown, right? I don't read things or watch things that I think are going to disappoint me. Red Sonja, the movie, was what I expected it to be. It went like I thought it would. I would give it like a 7 out of 10. Toxic Avenger was what I expected it to be. Does that mean that I'm smarter than a lot of people? Maybe. I think that there's some people that are going in expecting to hate it. They're looking to hate it. They're looking to find fault with it. And then they can make a video and say, this is what's wrong with it, because they're coming and looking to rip that thing apart. And you get that. And when you've got reviewers like that, as a person, you kind of suck. In general, yeah, there's some things that are going to suck, and I get it. It gets views, right? You make some negative video and you say, man, this is a piece of trash. And a bunch of people watch it so they can make fun and pick at stuff. One of my favorite, like, older books is The Apology of Socrates. Brilliant guy. And they would have let him live, but he just would not shut up. So the Oracle of Delphi told him that he was vastly more brilliant than anybody, and he didn't believe it. So he wanted to go to experts in their field and to debate them. And he continuously made people look like an idiot because they didn't know what they were talking about. He was that much smarter than what is with me and having to wipe my nose all the time. I love The Hobbit because they have pocket handkerchiefs. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing with me. Me too. But people would follow Socrates around, right? And they would follow him around so they could say, when he made somebody look like a fool. And rather than the person think, I need to do better, it just made them hate Socrates. If I thought something was garbage, I would call it out. But so many times, apparently, I have the cognizance or the discernment or the mind to be on the mark to know what something is before I get it. That way I'm not disappointed. And if I think I'm going to be disappointed, I will avoid that sucker like the plague. Um, Such is likewise the case with Super Killer. It's exactly, pretty well what I thought it would be. So I know that Vito, this guy, that he's a comedian, he lives out in Los Angeles and everything, has talked about making a comic for a while and went through this big, long process to make it. And I thought it was an exciting premise. The main person really in the book establishes that he's the villain of the story, Super Killer. He's there to purge some worlds from the multiverse. If you've seen Deadpool Wolverine, you get that kind of premise. And he's there to kill like the anchor heroes that the worlds are like tied to. So if that dude dies, that whole universe collapses, everybody dies, it just wipes it. So that's his thing. He's got a gun. It's got 3 shots. I want to tell you that I do think that criticisms, that critique, that people calling things out, though, at the same time, is good because it allows discussion. It allows you to talk about things, and there's a such thing as a valid criticism. So when I put up a rollout article for this about how well it's doing, about all the praise that people have been lobbing on this book, some dude came in and said to me on my Twitter, said, and Twitter, by the way, is like middle school age children, adults. A lot, but no, this was a genuine comment. So I mean, even though you get, said to me, but how many shots did he fire? So he said in the book that it's 3 shots that he fires. 4 shots are fired. There's a story where another one's fired, but that's not having anything to do with it. With the 13 plus days that he's on this world, 4 shots are fired from his gun. Um, there's a couple ways that you could work around that. Of course, being like gun conscious and as I am, I said clearly Vito understands about guns, and this dude had one of the rounds in the chamber. That's a thing, y'all. So uh, yeah, 4 shots were fired. I don't care. It's a stupid, non-serious, funny comic and everything like that. You could say that it automatically like regenerated or whatever. It's like a ray gun kind of thing. Um, the story is irreverent. The story is sarcastic. It picks fun at other comics. It talks about manga and how they're overly sexualized. Um, it has one of the characters in their life and talks about like BDSM and all that type of stuff. So it's very like tongue in cheek. There's language in it, so it's at least a PG-13. Again, it's done in a way to where it's not like a taken seriously or too seriously kind of comic thing. It's over the top kinds of stuff, but it's just like a snarky humor type thing. The dude writes comedy well. There were several things in it that I found the jokes funny. There's some nice transitional things in it where you turn the page, and I particularly liked when a superhero, a particular one, was like taken out with like a headshot. Like turn the page and how that happened. The wind up was cute for it. There's like a hook on the end of it that ties you into what the next issue, Super Killer 2, would be about. This book raised like what, in excess of $100,000 on Indiegogo, y'all. I think that that's good, and I'm sure that he's very thankful for everybody that helped make this a success, because you've got a lot of people pulling and working hard for that, and that's nice when you have people stand beside you like that. So that's cool stuff. Glad for this creator. I like to see other people do well. It's cool when people can do their thing and that they can do nice in it, even when it's stuff that I'm not interested in or whatever. That's cool that you found an audience and that you can go ahead and do that. But yeah, the Super Killer #1 book is booming. It's a fun read, and I don't say that about a lot of stuff, like the Red Sonja Toxic Avenger. I say it's what I expected to be, but I don't whirl around and use the word like fun like a lot. Like Deadpool and Wolverine came off in a way like it's fun. It's like it's totally rated R, but it's what it's like a ride, that you're on. But no, it had some humorous, some cute moments in it, and I think that he did a very nice job. In fact, it's on a higher level than most comic books by far. Right now, it's just in black and white. That's not like a cancel thing for me. I like black and white. With all the manga stuff, people like black and white. Supposedly, I guess there's going to be a colorized edition that's coming out, but he wants it to be what he wants it to be, and he would rather not put it out and not have it up to the standard level, whatever, of what he's wanting to do. I presume, ask Vito. But yeah, it's a tight book. It's a solid read. Um, I give it high marks. I don't like rules. I don't like this whole like one through 10 thing. And I know that I said like, hey, a 7. That's because I had my wife on when we were talking about Red Sonja, and she's like, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It's like I'm being pigeonholed into like giving something a rating or whatever. But it's like it's above most comics. It's fun. It makes you smile, and it is good enough that I would be like invested enough to be like I would like to read a second one. There's some things that you think, man, I'll hang around and see if it gets good, that it was okay or whatever. This is better than that. Um, it's just like a fun read. It's I can check out the second one and all that. I think it'll hold its own. I really do. I don't think that that's hard either. I think in a while, if you have a series, that it might be harder to land when things are built up and built up and built up and built up. But I don't think that issue two necessarily would be a hard thing. But I know that he poured a lot of love into this, and you can tell when you like read through it that there was a lot of thought that was poured into this and behind this, and just the dialogue and everything. Again, it's done well. It's done professionally. It is a good thing for his resume, unless Marvel or DC or whoever, would say maybe when we want to hire this guy, they could look at this and they could say, he's competent and proficient and everything. And there you go. Y'all, that's my thoughts. That's my quick spiel on Super Killer #1. I know again the dude's like a comedy personality and all that. We're living in a weird age, aren't we, where people want to talk more about like the creator over here, the creator over there, and maybe they told this joke or said this thing or whatever, because you get all kinds of crap, especially on Twitter. I don't know. I think it kills brain cells. That's not even where I do like most of my stuff at. I just kind of pick. Um, I'm not going to call out anybody like losers or whatever, but I mean, I get things from people, and then I get things that are relatively normal. And again, I don't mind like criticisms and all that, and nothing again against or on anybody saying, how many shots that were fired or whatever, because that's a complete legitimate thing when he says that it's 3 shots and that 4 were fired. I went back and I looked, and it's like, yeah. So the hero gets shot twice, and then another dude gets their head blown off, and then there's another shot fired towards the end that I'm not going to say what that's about. You're just going to have to go ahead and read the comic, and then there's another story where it's told about firing on people, but that's irrelevant because that's in another universe. But Super Killer #1, y'all. Look it up online, check it out, keep talking about it, because as an indie creator, as any kind of creator, mainstream or whatever, you want people talking about your books. If people aren't talking about them, that's just really garbage. That's not good for you. And also talk about it, discuss it. You love it, you hate it, you liked it. Here's what you did like. Here's what you didn't like. Sit around and draw the characters. That's good for this guy. I'd like it if you were doing that stuff to me. Bad publicity is good publicity in some sense, especially when it's something like comics that are not world shaping things that matter. Okay. You know, you're not talking about me and Jesus or whatever. You're talking about a fictional book. All right. So there you have it, Super Killer. This is BL Blankenship. Hope you like the review or found it interesting or whatever. I'm leaving comments open because, you know, I'll read them, you know, and if you like it, you don't like it, you want to tell me off, you know, you want to spam it, whatever, do it. Share this. Go visit ishookcomics.net, ishookcomics.net. That's where I go ahead and post stuff like this, articles like this. It is monetized. Oh man, what is it like? I, I think like 1,000 views have to happen on stuff that I have all together for me to make $1. My older sister told me, she said, next time I see you, I'll give you a quarter. I still ain't got that quarter, y'all. But yeah, still nonetheless, little by little, step by step, precept upon precept, line upon line, what have you.